Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 31 of NWA Power. Before I get started, you're going to hear a bird in the background. I can't control that. It's a baby bird. I'm not sure what style it sounds like a bird. It is loud. So I can't help that. No matter night or day, the bird is cool. I cannot control it. Also, it's done in the afternoon, so it's already in the afternoon. So this is what you will hear. There's no other room in my apartment that I can do it that's quiet, at least enough. So if you hear a lot of noise, you're going to have to be stuck with it. Welcome to NWA Power episode 31, I believe. 7 storylines. This is the best way I'm going to say this. 7 storylines for NWA. You got about 7. You could say 8 with JTG's rise, but until I know how far he's going to go with his rise, I'm not saying anything about it, so we only got about 7. First part of the storylines, one of them, Murdoch's interview. We see Murdoch talking with Kyle Davis, and he says, "How you doing, Trevor?" And he says, "I'm doing good. After what happened and when Shadows Fall, I was pissed as hell, and I went home. And I was still pissed until I saw my lovely wife. Something I haven't seen in more than 2 decades. I haven't been married since 2006 and haven't had a relationship in a marriage since 1999. You can see how old I am. My relationship with my wife ended in 99 when we were still married, and I divorced her in 2006 when she decided to leave. Let's put it in perspective. He said when he was with his lovely queen, his wife, his everything, she said, look, you had him beat. He had to cheat. You had him beat. What are you worrying about? You beat him with his own move. You had him beat. So Trevor says simply, you know what? My wife is right. I had you beat. No matter where you go, everyone's going to say I have you beat. When you go and get your clothes done, they're going to say, I had you beat. When you go and eat something at your expensive restaurants, they're going to say, I got you beat. When you go home to your wife, she's going to know. And we know who it is because he did make it very clear. We know who she is. She knows. I had you beat. So, he makes it very clear. I'm not ending anything. I am coming for you. I'm not stopping until I get my damn title. That belongs to me. Okay. That's not a bad storyline. Is it a little basic? Yes. It's not one of the most greatest and most extravagant things. But it's a basic storyline that we desperately need. We need more. And we get it. Next. Austin Idol and Tyrus have their interview with May. I don't know what happened. That makeup on her doesn't look right. Look. I'm the type of person that when I look at a woman, and don't get me wrong, I love me some good-looking ass women. I love me some women wearing makeup. But there's a point of how much you plaster on. Look, when you look at Monday Night Raw, I got to compare this to May Valentine. When you look at Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, she has the same type of makeup that Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke has. I think I have the picture of them. I can put them side by side. I think I might try to. If you'll see them somewhere over here. I know you don't want to see nothing from WWE, but when you look at May and how heavy she put her makeup on, she overdid it. Because you can say a lot about May Valentine. She still feels very machine-like. Very she just feels bland. She doesn't show any type of emotion much. She's just not a very emotional type of person the way she's doing her work. But when you see her, she's a beautiful woman. But you look at her. This time, compared to the last 3 or 4 episodes of Power, she's overdone her makeup. Now, why would I say that? Am I a makeup artist? No. But I am someone who's reviewing the entire show in its entirety. Not just the wrestling, the promo segments, how the ring looks. I'm also looking at the commentators as well as the people interviewing. And when you look at her, she looks artificial. Look at May. I think I already flashed both the pictures. Look at May Valentine. Look at Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. They look exactly the same. Dolled up dolls. They don't look real. You want someone that looks like a real person interviewing you. It's bad enough that May Valentine, who I think is not a bad looking woman, she seems to be a sweet person. But she's trying too hard to look incredible and trying to do her job right. She feels too artificial when she's talking, and now she looks like a damn doll when she's talking to somebody. Yeah, you can't hide that she got massive tits. You can't hide that. And I'm not telling her to hide her beautiful body. But you gotta look like a person. You want that organic feel from your, not just commentators, but also your interviewers. Kyle Davis is a lot of things, but he feels like a genuine person. He has his moments where he shows some emotion, but he also shows that he does his job. Like Joe Gillum, he was highly animated the last episode of Power. He was so mad that Nick Aldis screwed everything over. He was angry. Then you see Tim Storm. I almost said Tom. Tim Storm is a very restrained person. But when it's time, you know it. Even when it comes to Velvet Sky, yes, she's been very reserved and very gentle in her talking. But when it's time to be animated, she shows how she feels. And I say that a lot, but when it comes to May, she's trying way too hard, and now her makeup reflects what she's doing. She's trying too hard. So all the interviews that she did, which was like with the masked stranger, we don't know who he is. And when it came to Slice, Boogie, and Mache Rocket, she just seems like the blend in the background. She didn't feel important. She didn't feel like anything. When it came to Tyrus and talking with Austin Idol, you wonder, why is she even there? Particularly that Tyrus is trying to talk, and then this guy comes out saying, look, Mr. G's wants to see you in 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your time right now. And he refuses to leave, and again he bothers a Tyrus, who then grabs him by his scrawny little neck, like he is, and then says, I will see him when I'm ready. And that'll be next week in the middle of the ring, and he better be there. It just felt blank when it came to May Valentine. She didn't help the segments. She didn't help the interviews. It would have been better if Kyle Davis did it. I'm being honest here, and I like May Valentine. I think she's beautiful. She seems sweet, but she got to do something. She needs to change it up. Now, Triple Threat, which only lasted 6 minutes. And understand, you got to understand this. When it comes to the women, they still do exactly like the WWE does, and not like NWA is not acting like AEW. They're not giving the women a lot of time. But there's a difference between NWA and AEW and WWE. No matter if it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT. There's a certain amount of time these people have and how they booked them. When it came to Genocide, Melina, and the new girl named Paige, who's 19 years old, I can't remember her first name. How can I say this? When it comes down to it, they had about maybe 6.5 minute match. Maybe near 7. They only have 1 hour, not counting commercials, which cuts it down to maybe 15 minutes. So they're already pressed for time. So this is a major issue for the show. If Mickie James, who's executive producer now, I believe she is an executive producer or producer of the show, they need to do something. They need to change it up so the women can have more time. And this is something she's going to have to work on. As long as Mickie James is a producer or an executive producer, she's going to have to work with the constraints of whatever they show on television. Now, mind you, if they can get more time, like an extra 30 minutes instead of an hour and 30 minutes of wrestling, that would help a lot to the product. So the question is going to be, for me personally, with Mickie James now as a producer, not as a producer or an executive producer of NWA, can she convince Billy Corgan, to get extra time from whatever network they're working with to expand to an extra 30 minutes, which gives more time to the women because they need it. Melina wins, but with such a little amount of time, it makes it difficult. Now, when we had the Camille segment, and yes, May just didn't make it mean anything. But when you see Camille, she was pissed off at what Melina did. She wondered, what the hell is her problem? Why did you mess with my damn coronation? You pissed my ass off. The next time we meet, you better not get in my way. Now she says at the very end of that interview that when May asks her, so who's next for your competition? Well, it's not here, but I'm looking. So maybe she's going to AEW this Friday. Since now Selena Deeps is no longer champion, two things for her. One, she could still be with NWA and working both shows. Two, she will go to AEW, and Camille will be going to AEW as well, and sooner or later they're going to meet in the ring there. So you're going to be seeing Selena Deeps, and maybe you'll be seeing Camille. You don't know. Maybe. I'm just saying. Now, Hawks and Sal were talking to... here's the thing. Kobe Coro, I believe his name is. Or, I think his name is Coro. He's supposed to be the son of a former wrestler who was from NWA and is a champion of NWA. Now, Sal is supposed to be a second generation, I believe, himself. And Hawks is also a second generation. All three of them are second generation. If I could be wrong, what is his name? Kobe Coro easily is the second generation. Hawks is the second generation. So the question's going to be, how long will it be before the two second generations, or Sal himself is the second generation, if I think he might not be, it's going to be clashing one another. This is another feud because Corbin, wait a minute, not Corbin, what is his name? Kobe, sorry, I'm getting Corbin and Kobe confused. Will they have a feud? Because he started messing with their interview. It's going to be a big question. That is another storyline that we don't know, but it seems to be interesting. What I said earlier about the masked stranger who Billy Corgan knows, but no one knows, that's another question. That's another storyline. And it looks like Slice Boogie and Marquet Rocket may be interacting with him as well. That's another storyline. Now, Stevens versus Hawk. The very one that we were talking about earlier. He was given this opportunity against Aaron Stevens because of how he acted in the match last week. So, was he a good wrestler? And was this a good match? Yes, it was. I did enjoy the match. Now, La Bellrion, I'm bad at Spanish. I'm half Spanish and I can't speak it. I grew up with my mom, who is black. Mixed black. Take that back. Mixed black. El Rebellion, or Le Rebellion, beats the crap out of everyone. And they went up to the podium with Kyle Davis and make it very clear they are from AAA. They're still working in AAA, but they make it very clear. We're here, even in broken English or barely any English, making it very clear they're here, they want gold. They want gold. They don't care. The question is going to be, how long would it be before we finally see them against the champions? And how is Kratos going to react? Because they did bring this up about Kratos. What are they going to be doing with Aaron Stevens and Kratos? Will Kratos and Aaron Stevens get more out of their relationship? I don't know why I did this. It should be this. I don't know where they're going yet. This is still another storyline. Now, finally, we had the first round for the national title. Triple threat. We got... Hang on a minute. Wait, actually, I should talk about the one beforehand. They had one interview before the national tournament, or whatever it is. The national tournament. They showed, what is the guy's name? Peller up against the Latimer and the Adonis. Chris Adonis, the Master Lock, the Muscle Man. The one who has a pec that just looks like that. The question's going to be, is the end going to get somewhere with Peller? Peller. Yeah, his name is Peller. They made it very clear. Strictly Business, they don't care which one gains that title, as long as one of them has it. Neither one of them are having an issue about it. They know that when the time comes, they got to face one another. As long as the title stays in Strictly Business, it doesn't matter. For Peller, he's making it very clear. I don't care about talking. I just want to beat the crap out of both of you. I am going to get this damn title, make it clear that Strictly Business is not going to get what they want. I'm going to get what I want. So the match is for next week for them. This week is JTG, I don't know, say why K. JTG versus Losser versus, what is the guy's name? El Rudo from AAA, I believe. Now, was this a good match? No. Not in the sense that it was bad beyond stink. It was because of a botch, and it's in my face. JTG was up against Rosser, and Rosser decides to hold the belt. Not the belt, but the ropes. So when he was supposed to jump back over a JTG, it didn't happen. So JTG decided, well, you know what? You're not going anywhere. I'm going to drop kick you. And he doesn't even come close. I think that other moment was wrong. This is the right moment to put that image there. And he tries, and he's like this far away, just barely misses him. And they try to say, oh, Losser is smart. He managed to hold himself and brace himself. He didn't move an inch once he held that rope. That was a major botch they caught, and I'm glad they caught it. And it was JTG who goes next. I didn't expect that. I thought Rosser would go or El Rudo would go, but they actually have something invested in JTG. Another storyline that I didn't mention, and I believe it makes 8 with him, to see his rise, but I'm leaving it out because there's no way of knowing until he does more promos, until he has more of an interaction with the NWA audience, that it's going to mean something. As it stands, we have 7 storylines that are being developed. And I'm fine with that. I'm glad to see a show, a promotion build stories. Look at WWE. Look, I am going to talk about this in the Gump Report when it comes to Triple H and Samoa Joe. It's happening. I am talking about them. That's going to be recorded right after this video. And maybe one other video. I don't know yet. But you see the WWE. Raw sucks beyond stink. It is garbage. SmackDown only has Roman Reigns. NXT, yes, has Samoa Joe, and I will elaborate on that video next. But they got nothing. AEW has a huge amount of people, but it's hard to do enough stories for them until Rampage gets put on the market. Until you get Dynamite off. I really think Dynamite staying on Wednesdays is fine, but Rampage needs to go to 8 o'clock, not 10. It is a dead time. Look at what happened with Dynamite. It's barely hitting 500,000. They need to change it to 8 instead of 10. They need to switch that around. But until that's up, they got too many people, not enough show to really show that doing something important. Storylines. Now you got NWA, who is very restricted for time because they only do 1 hour. But they got 7 storylines set up with a possible 8 in JTG. And I got to say, thank you. Very nice. But I do still have to say, fuck NWA. Because of Selena Deep's not being promoted when she was still champ. What the fuck? Why didn't you promote the woman? But that's just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.